Call to order, pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mrs. Evans, roll call.
Mrs. Denny? Mrs. Ellis?
Here.
Mr. Hefton?
Here.
Dr. Huber?
Here.
Mrs. Jones?
Here.
Mr. Mancinelli? Here. Mr. Seesaw?
Here.
Mr. Twisler?
Here.
Mr. Arnold?
Here. 2.01 is approval of minutes. Motion is to approve the minutes of the July 24th, 2024 board meeting. Do I have this motion?
So moved.
Questions or comments? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. 2.02 is the invoice listing. I'm sorry, treasury report. Mr. Zep.
As of June 30th, 2024, Pendelco's balance was $34,613,576. During July 2024, local, state, and federal revenues totaled $7,276,527. Disbursements were issued in the amount of $4,679,432. As of July 31st, 2024, Pendelco's current balance is $37,210,671. The motion is to approve the treasurer's report for July 2024. That is motion.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. 2.03 is the invoice listing. Motion is to approve the invoice listing for July through August of 2024. Motion.
So moved. Second.
Questions or comments? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Number 3 on tonight's agenda is the superintendent's report. Dr. Stowe.
Good evening, everybody. As a reminder, I want to thank the board for coming together last week to have our discussion during the school board study session. For folks who are here tonight, may wonder what is the board working on, what did we discuss last week. Last week, we took some time to discuss policy 701.1 on the naming of facilities, which had not been addressed since 2010. We heard from the administration regarding a recommendation involving challenges to solve some issues with world languages staffing. There's an issue of finding qualified, certificated individuals to teach Spanish, the Romance languages, world languages, and we're continuing to work through that right now. We discussed the conversion of 2 administrative positions so we could increase their scope and their duties. And we also received an update on the personnel vacancies and the positions that we filled as we head into the start of the school year. This year our teachers were back. We had all of our employees over at the Sun Valley Auditorium today, and I was very heartfelt in telling them I'm extremely excited about the teachers that we hired. I think the draft picks that we have on our team for this year are really very, very strong. Just want to mention, full-day kindergarten was, there's been a lot of chatter about how successful that was last year. And we are still reminding parents that full-day K is open. I have here that we have about 180 kindergarten students registered or in the stages. It's actually higher than that. I checked today, since we did the slide, we're at 201. So to give you an idea, last year we had about 224 kindergarten students. We're at about 201 across the district. So here's our group of new teachers that we had. Also include some of our teachers who started during the school year last year, but we're not at orientation. Dr. Kamiko always gives them a welcoming gift. This is now a very popular item, a Pendelco beach towel. We had some people competing for some of them today, but it's a really, really solid team, and I give credit to our principals who continue to have very high standards on the individuals that we recommend for hire. So today, it was our second day back for staff. It was the day where they actually come together as a district. They kind of leave their individual buildings and come back to the auditorium. Really great day. We had welcoming remarks from the PDA president, Nicole Armbruster. Of course, as a superintendent, we always talk too much, so of course I had welcoming remarks. But we had a guest speaker, Mr. Phil Martelli, who took some time to really remind our teachers and our staff of the important work that they do as public servants. Too often, people come in and they get caught up in a whirlwind, and as difficult as the job and forget about the impact that they make. And he talked about his Make a Difference Foundation, did a fantastic job. We had some fun videos. We had a kind of a Pendelco Olympic torch in which our veteran teacher in the district helped us ring in the new year with a great start. And we had Jack Abate, one of our students up at the high school, who sang the national anthem and just really brought down the house and did such a nice job. On the far right there is Mr. Campbell of the middle school. We also recognize employees who have 10, 20, and 30 years experience. So we recognize Mr. Campbell, who now has 30 years of experience as a teacher in Pendelco. It was a really great day, very positive. I wanted to point out and thank our business office. We have this summer become a drop-off location for school taxes, and TD Bank had stopped that option. In the last 2 years, right before, in the last 2 weeks, while we have had the opportunity to have the tax payments paid with a discount, it has been extremely, extremely busy. We thought there could be 1,000 residents who would visit our building. It is well above that number, well above that number. So this is a period in time where we get about 90% of our taxes. It's kind of right in that July, August, and September range. Generally 90% of residential taxes come in. And it has been, for me, personally very helpful to meet a lot of our senior citizens who are coming in. That's a very big thing to them. When they walk in with a check for, let's say, $3,191, and they're making that payment, it reminds me how important it is that we continue to have the trust of our community, that we spend money wisely, and we at least remember that these are hardworking individuals coming in who are taking pride in supporting our schools. It's been a lot of extra work on our business office. It's been a lot of extra work on the folks who are up in the registration desk as well, but they've been handling it quite well. So we talked this morning a little bit about a lot of accomplishments at the elementary level, accomplishments at the middle school. I just want to talk particularly about Sun Valley because I was mentioning to Mr. Roscoe and his staff, there's just so much wind right now at the sales of Sun Valley. It is a very bright time. And we looked at some of the data from last year, and I just thought I would point out to the board, how last year went. The board knows that the atmosphere at Sun Valley has been continuing to improve. Students are achieving there. But what some may not know is that 100% of the seniors who started the year at Sun Valley last September walked across the stage and graduated. 100%. So we can't speak to students who may have dropped out of that class their sophomore year, but what we did make sure was if you came into the school as a senior and you started as a senior, we were going to make sure that you graduated. That was great work by them. Substantial decrease in any misconduct of a physical nature. Substantial decrease. Extremely high AP scores. So we have a modern day high on the average AP scores, as well as number of participants in the test. So oftentimes you hear about schools that get spikes in test scores, but it means less kids are taking the test. We had more kids taking the test, which generally will drop the average, and the opposite happens. So we're really excited about what's happening up at Sun Valley. Across the district, principals and staff are really going to focus on getting kids involved, encouraging kids to join clubs, encouraging kids to do things. So here's an example of STEM clubs that we had at elementary. Now, a lot of smiling faces there, but what do you see? You see kids engaged in good activities. You don't see kids buried with their heads in their cell phones. You don't see people involved in not collaborating and not having a good time with friends. We believe that the answers to some of the challenges with technology addiction is to just get away from technology. Play sports, play a musical instrument, join a club, do a service activity, get in the marching band, go into the play, you name it. So we're really going to be pushing that third part of our mission where we say we want every kid to excel in the pursuit of an interest or a talent. We want kids to just get out, away from those phones, away from the screens, and do things with friends. Back to school nights are coming up really fast, like in a matter of a couple days, right? So we've got our nights coming up. Aston and Coburn will be on Tuesday, September 10th, on the 12th, Parkside and Pennell. Then we will have Sun Valley High School on the 17th, and then Northley on the 19th. So that switches every year. We flip-flop a little bit with secondary, elementary, and then also the schools that meet on Tuesdays and Thursdays. By the way, there are some of the new pictures that we have of our gorgeous facilities, and we will be getting some of this printed and framed to have on the wall in here as well. I mentioned today to our staff that the really effective and high-achieving organizations always remind everybody of what their why is and what their purpose is. And we shared these slides today. In our district, our staff has one purpose, right? It's to educate students, to serve the community, to lead ourselves and others. The mission remains the same. We want kids to achieve mastery of core academic competencies, succeed at acquiring ready-for-life skills, and excel in the pursuit of a personal talent or interest. And then we talked about our vision, where we are committed to ensuring that the graduates are ready for life, prepared and capable of making a positive contribution to society. And I think we have a number of programs and certainly the right people in place for this to be a very successful year and to meet these goals and aims again. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Stein. Announcements for the public today. The board met in executive session to discuss personnel and litigation matters. Number 5, comments by members of the board. One thing I'd like to say, I didn't miss this morning's meeting. It's always a good time. You know, Dr. Steinoff passed along my condolences to the staff. But one thing I'd like to say is that it's always nice to greet the teachers, and that we always have openings throughout the summer, but it's always nice to know that they get filled. There are a lot of districts that struggle to fill some of their jobs, but here it always seems like we have people that want to come to PennDOT. Very rarely we have a job that's tough to fill, or even the tough to fill ones seem to get filled. You know, other than the world language arts that we're working on a solution for. But it's nice to see the faces and know that the people that are here because they want to be here. The majority of our staff could go and work at any other district in the county because they're always hired, right? But they stay here for a reason or come to us for a reason. And everybody always gets phone calls. Everybody wants to come to PennDOT, so it's always good to see that we have very, very, very few open jobs starting the school year. Anybody else? Number 6, items for board information. It is the first reading of School Board Policy 701.1, naming the facilities. Any comments by members of the public? Seeing none. All right. So, board meeting starts on page 2, item 8, carries on through 3, 4, 5, and ends 2/3 of the way down 5. References the PennDOT budget 2022 through 2023, PennDOT budget 2023 through 2024, Act 93 plans, PDEA agreement, the PDESPA agreement, the PDSSPA agreement. Also references the PA School Code section 1108B. Is the administrative recommendation to approve all personnel items as presented. Do I have this motion?
So moved.
Questions or comments? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. So we're going to do a consent agenda for 8.03 through 8.10. 8.11 needs to be done separately, being that it is a nomination. With that, if anyone would prefer to vote individually on any other agenda item, please speak up now. Otherwise, I need a motion to approve 8.03 through 8.10. 8.10. Please note that it is subject to review of the solicitor for the minutes. Do I have this motion?
So moved.
Second. Questions or comments? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. 8.11 is the PSBA legislative liaisons. Motion is to appoint Mr. John Mancinelli, the volunteer position of legislative liaisons to the PennDOT School Board Association. This motion.
So moved.
So just a point to mention for the rest of the board, Mr. Armour and I received an email from PSBA and said they were looking at the records and wanted to know who is going to be the legislative liaison. Ms. Essler used to fill that role. Mr. Mancinelli has been filling it for us on the local level. So, Mr. Mancinelli, I guess Mr. Armour is recommending you for this position. That's why it's blank. Okay, gotcha. And that's why this is coming up right now. We just want to be able to convey back to PSBA that Mr. Mancinelli will be the legislative liaison. Yet another volunteer opportunity.
So back when Ms. Essler left the board, Mr. Mancinelli stepped up and said, I'd love to have the opportunity. He's done a great job bringing back that information from the legislative part. So, any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Any comments by members of the public? All right, with that, comments by members of the board.
I just have a quick comment.
Sure.
I just wanted to just recognize and thank all of our district employees, educators, staff, everyone that put in all that hard work over the summer. Obviously, the school year is starting next week, and it doesn't go unnoticed with how amazing the buildings look, how wonderful the classrooms look. And we know it's a lot of behind-the-scenes work. So thank you for all of that, and we wish you all a successful school year.
Thank you, Dr. Pass that along to facilities for sure. Thank you.
I'd like to kind of echo Dr. Hooper's sentiment. I have 4 students at various levels throughout the district, and they're pretty excited to be getting back to school. Riding around, all the facilities look terrific. I'm involved in a lot of the youth sports, and we're already using some of the fields, and everything's looking great, from how the schools look to the windscreens to everything else that's presented. So again, good luck this year, and looking forward to a great school year.
Thank you.
And shout out to Coach Campbell. He's big Dad would ask now.
I would also like to acknowledge some honor roll certificates that we received in mail from Pennsylvania School Boards Association. First certificate that popped right out, it has been 10 years that Mr. Leon Armour has served on our school board, so thank you very much. 10 years for Ms. Kate Denny, who has served on the board, and this is not available. And then this went by quickly. Stephanie Ellis, 5 years as well from the job. Glad to see that they recognize that volunteer service. I also want to bring to the attention of the public a condolence resolution that was sent to me by State Representative Kruger to share and pass along with this board. I've spoken with Ms. Ellis about this, and I do want to recognize that in Harrisburg, the House of Representatives did officially honor the memory of Mr. Thomas Ellis, who passed away at the age of 43 this past summer. And what they indicated in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania resolution was the following. Whereas Mr. Ellis was a lifelong resident of Brookhaven and graduated from Sun Valley High School in 1999, following his graduation, he worked diligently to help build his family's company, Ellis Housing LLC, head coach of the Sun Valley High School wrestling team at the time of his passing. Mr. Ellis served as president of the Aspen Athletic Association, co-founded the Black Sheep Wrestling Club, was a role model and positive influence in the lives of countless children he coached in the Pendelco School District. He was a member of Our Lady of Charity Parish and enjoyed golfing and watching college football. And whereas, and in the end they have resolved that the House of Representatives of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania proclaim with enduring sorrow the passing of Tommy Ellis and extend heartfelt condolences to his wife Stephanie, children Angelina, Nia, and Lily, father Ernest Ellis, mother Jan O'Brien, and many other family members, friends, and colleagues. Be it resolved that a copy of this resolution be transmitted to Ms. Stephanie Ellis. Stephanie, means so much to us. I know we recognize Tommy last month, but we continue to be at the top of our list throughout the entire.
All right. Future meetings are September 18th, study session here at the Service Center, and September 25th is our business meeting here